People who have seen my previous reviews can be forgiven for thinking that I have a problem with American telly, but I would say that isn't true at all. I do, however, have a problem with overpopularised, homogenised cack that is force-fed through the screen by the same few money spinners who wouldn't recognise comedy even if it got down on its knees and begged them for a Bill Clinton promotion. Sort of forgot my point. Anyway, Scrubs, written by the competent Bill Lawrence, is a bizarre medical-based sitcom with some genuinely moving moments. The series opens with new Dr. John Dorian agonising over his first day as an intern at Sacred Heart Hospital. One thing you can't fail to notice is the show rapidly introduces new characters. We meet about 8 main characters in the space of less than 5 minutes. All the time we are treated to an inner monologue of JD. I'm assuming this is to understand the stress of the job, but it does make it difficult to remember who everyone is. However, you don't have to wait many episodes to realise that one way or another every character is extremely likeable and interesting. I normally hate saying things like, it takes a few episodes to get into, because this heavily implies that the first few episodes are generally boring. Oh, you should watch this new show. I mean, the first 23 episodes are god-awful, but the last one's fine. But in the case of Scrubs, although the show gets stronger as the series advances, the initial few episodes are still really good, great even. This series also follows 2 new interns, JD's best friend Chris Turk and the awkward and uncomfortable Elliot Reed. But the show has equally strong peripheral characters, such as the fabulously stern Dr. Cox and the cartoon villain Dr. Kelso. Oh, and obviously not forgetting the fantastically twisted janitor. The humour in the show is largely character-based with an interesting mix of slapstick, a bit of dark humour, and some innuendo. But you can't enjoy a Chuck Lorre comedy without first getting brain damage, and you can't have a show set in a hospital without having drama. Although this series is fairly light on the drama, there are still several occasions when you will feel moved. I do really like the show, but I suppose if I'm doing a review, there's no such thing as a perfect show, so the series has some problems. For instance, although she is mostly good, in this series in particular, I find Carla to be quite irritating. She can be funny, but her ranting speeches get tiresome after a few episodes. Also, for a show that can have very interesting camera work in the vast majority of its shots, it does reuse that one shot of JD walking into hospitals quite a few times, which is quite laughable considering this shot was for the pilot, which is set in a different hospital. That's rather lazy. Plus, in medical shows there is a tendency to use some extremely cheesy dialogue, although it's clear they're doing this ironically, but without any sense of irony. They will say things like, I became a doctor to help people. No shit, really? Because I thought people became doctors to get access to cheap drugs. But like a chimp running its hands through your hair, I'm just nitpicking. If you haven't seen this show, I highly recommend it. The first few episodes are enjoyable, and you won't have to watch very long before you're absorbed. For all my British peoples, the pre-Watershed, i.e. inferior versions, air daily on Viva. No, I've never heard of it either. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any recommendations, here's the email address to send them to.